Hey there, everyone. Zach with Zach's Contraptions. Thank you for joining me. We are doing another live Q&A to answer any questions you might have about Rube Goldberg Machines, the upcoming 2024 Rube Goldberg Machine Contest, the Young Inventors Program, Invention Convention, anything and everything Rube Goldberg. First and foremost, I want to make the announcement that on January 10th, the Minecraft as well as the Rube Goldberg Cartoon Contest will be going live. So if you're not interested in building a real Rube Goldberg machine, you can certainly enter the Minecraft competition whereby you design one in Minecraft. I'm currently writing the rule book right now, but that's going to go live January 10th, as well as the Crazy Cartoon Contest. So if you want to be just like Rube Goldberg and not have these such bright images, but if you want to draw your own Rube Goldberg style cartoons, you are more than welcome to enter them and submit into the Crazy Contraption Cartoon Contest. It's a long title. That also opens up January 10th. What most people care about, however, is the Rube Goldberg Machine Contest. And we are back and live again this year. Very happy to announce that with collegiate, high school, middle school, and elementary all both having live regionals as well as going to a national contest held at Purdue University on Saturday, April 6th at the Purdue Armory. So really exciting news there. Looking forward to it tremendously. Teams have the registration date. I'm kind of pushing it back a little bit. I would love to see teams register by January 19th. And that just lets me get a chance to assign you to your host, whether you're doing the remote regionals or if you do want to travel and go to a live regionals. One thing I certainly want to mention is that there is the option of remote regionals. And I'll pull that up here on the screen. So remote regionals is the opportunity for teams that are more than 100 miles away from the nearest hosting location. They're welcome to join the online version of it. You'll still be in the same division, so college, high school, so Division 3, Division 2, middle school, which is Division 1, and apprentice elementary school. You'll still be ranked by your same division. And there will be the chance for more than one winner from each of those regionals, the remote regionals, to make it on nationals. Just mean that you build it where you're located, you film it, you enter your submission, and then it is judged by, well, yours truly, and I'll decide who does make it onto the national contest. With it in your submissions, let's make it a little bigger so you can see it. With it, what I do need is, if you are going to be submitting via the remote regional process, one, you've got to be registered to the contest so that I can assign you the submission link. But I need a video, and I need it to be unedited and around 4 to 5 minutes long. It could certainly be shorter, but it needs to be one continuous clip. Ideally, your machine works, and if it doesn't work or something goes wrong, just restart the video. I teach a course where a lot of students, they'll try to fudge it with CGI or they'll try to cut it. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I can tell where there's a cut in a Rube machine and the physics don't add up. So just, one continuous take, and I want to see that it fits within the dimensions that we set in the rule books. So every single rule book has the space limitations that you're allowed in it. So you still have to follow all the specifications and rules if you're doing remote regionals. So if you're high school, for example, yours needs to fit within a 10-foot square. There's a lot of space. Let's just be very clear on that. Collegiate is allowed to go up to 12 by 10. And I just recently built a machine for Jägermeister, and that was 12 feet by 10 feet tall by 20 feet. So it was huge. So you can certainly be able to fit your machines into that. But again, when you're doing your submission, just proof that it fits within that box, a continuous video, and just sent in a Google Drive. That's pretty much it, making sure that I can see the videos and I can judge it. And you will receive feedback. So I'll make sure to score it. So going back to this, with every contest, there are the judging forms. There's each of those elements right here. I will still be judging it officially and be able to provide you that score back. By the way, if you're here and you want to ask any questions live, that's what I'm here for. So just go ahead, leave your questions in the comments. Leave your questions in the comments. Leave your comments in the comments too, I suppose. And I'm happy to answer them as I kind of talk about the contest. So just for those watching, but we do have a lot of people that rewind and watch this later on. So just FYI there. Anywho, But so with the remote regionals, I will judge them. I'll get them back to you. And you'll hear back very, very quickly because, again, we do want everybody to have that chance to move on to the live national contest again on April 6th, Saturday, April 6th at Purdue University. The deadline for the submission for remote regionals is going to be on March 1st. I've extended that back a little bit. So there is that 1 month turnaround from regionals to nationals for the contest. From that, if you aren't doing remote regionals, at this point, if you are already registered, I have sent you your hosting assignments, or am about to. I'm in that process right now. So every team that registers, I send them an exact email of where they're going to be assigned. You know, whether your team is going to be competing in Indiana, Texas, California, New Hampshire. We have Turkey, Egypt, Vietnam. We have quite a number of locations. I wish we could have one in every single state, because we are getting a lot of inquiries about people wanting to go, to a live, and it is really amazing to do a live contest. But that's why we're bringing back the nationals. Once the nationals becomes a much bigger deal, which, trust me, we've got some big secrets coming up. Then, certainly more regionals will start popping up. But again, this is kind of that rebuilding year for that. Moving away from that, so remote regionals, we have the hosting assignments. What I really want to talk about tonight, if anybody has questions, feel free to jump in. But I want to talk about solving the task. And this year's task is, as I think most of us know, is, sorry, as I share screen, always taking a second, it's to put toothpaste on a toothbrush. So one example of such, maybe the alarm clock, which throws laundry into a laundry hamper, shuts into a chain found, causing the teddy bear to drop the boot onto the tube of toothpaste, pushing the toothpaste out, and voila, the 2024 task is revealed, putting toothpaste on a toothbrush. Now, of course, that is my daughter putting the toothpaste on my teeth. But it doesn't certainly have to be something quite like that. It could be, so let's bring up the next one. Share this tab. So it could be a little bit more complicated than just simply having a boot fall on it. In this example, I have an air cannon filled with toothpaste that fires into my face and, well, sprays me, but it also ended up on my toothbrush. And from there, I was able to brush my teeth. And a little bit slow-mo. Really got me good. And let me tell you, it went up my nose. An air cannon filled with toothpaste is perfectly allowed, by the way. I have no problems with that whatsoever. In fact, the whole point of a Rube Goldberg machine is being creative. That's what this contest is all about. Being creative, being unique. I brought props with me today. So, obviously we have a tube of toothpaste and a toothbrush. And I guarantee you, one of the most common things we're going to see is something falling, splat, and something just going to go there and just fall on the toothbrush. That's why I showed that first example, because that's what Crest wanted. But there's just so many creative ways that this task can be solved. And a lot of teachers might have concerns, even the fact that it might be messy. Again, we promote creativity. And even I put in the rule book is, do you need a toothbrush and do you need toothpaste? Well, what if you brush your teeth with peanut butter? That is old peanut butter. I should have checked that prior. That's not good peanut butter. Oh, no. Excuse me. I didn't know peanut butter went bad like that. For real, sorry. You can brush your teeth with peanut butter. That's perfectly allowed. If you want to do other crazy things, certainly welcome to. So, does that have to be a toothbrush? You have toothpaste and a hairbrush. Might get hair in your teeth, but it certainly works. Start thinking about other brushes. We have a broom and, well, whipped cream. This is my nice shirt. Uh-oh. The point is, you can do a lot of creative things. No, you don't have to do solid toothpaste and a solid toothbrush. Now, I do have to make mention that we are sponsored by Crest. Let's get that nicely in frame where the lighting isn't terrible. We are sponsored by Crest, as well as Oral-B. I'm giving you a very solid and good hint. If you would like to be featured by these companies in social media posts, perhaps use Crest brand and Oral-B brand products. Just helpful hint right there. I will give you the pro tip because, they sponsor us, but I get no payment from them. I can accurately say that things such as Crest toothpaste, when you're thinking about how you're going to get the toothpaste out, you need to think about viscosity, the resistance to flow. Crest versus Colgate, for a good example. One of these flows a lot better out of the tube, whereas, let's go back to that video real quick so share this tab. Let's go back to this video and demonstrate. This is a boot, obviously. This is a boot filled with about 3 pounds of weight in the toe. This is a tube of Crest toothpaste. 3 pounds of weight hitting this tube caused that tiny little dollop, not tiny, I suppose, but caused that amount of toothpaste to come out. Whereas I did the same thing with the Colgate and it blasted clear across my set and kind of all over those books back there. So there is a very big difference. Again, while we might be sponsored by Crest, it is perfectly allowable where you fill a Crest tube with Colgate toothpaste. I have no problem with that. If you want to fill one of these toothpaste containers with something else like whipped cream, I'm physically not going to check that you have toothpaste in all of your containers. It's again, as some form of toothpaste ends up on some form of brush, we are perfectly okay with that. And again, we're trying to get away from those just having a block fall onto something. We want there to be that creative element. Some things that I've seen already include a toothbrush on a little zip line. And so let's say they had a little cup right here and they had the toothbrush go zzz, and it fell in there. Toothpaste ended up on the toothbrush. I'm not doing the peanut butter example again. That still leaving a terrible taste. Glad I have the whipped cream to balance out. But that was certainly one creative example that I thought or saw. Another one. So we have this lovely, I'm going to call it a Winnie the Pooh honey pot. Let's substitute it in for say a toilet or a trash can even. But what I saw one team do was they lined the entire bag with toothpaste. Let's pretend that this is toothpaste. Got that? Toothpaste. Just roll with me here. So they lined it all in and then they threw their toothbrush away in the trash. Simple. Just threw it away. But when I pull it out of the trash can, my hand, along with the toothbrush, is coated in toothpaste, thus successfully solving the task. And it makes it funny and creative. Should add a towel or something here. Excuse me. I have nothing better to wipe with. But successfully solving the task. And think about it, because you're more than welcome to brush your teeth at the end of everything. So if you throw away your toothbrush and you get toothpaste on it, and then at the very end for theatrics, you pull the toothpaste out of the trash can to start brushing, that's hilarious. That's fantastic. Imagine it was a toilet. That's one of the critical elements of a Rube Goldberg machine. So really making sure when you build these Rube Goldberg machines, you are ticking all 4 of these boxes. I bring it up every single live. It's in my upcoming book. It's in almost every one of my Rube Goldberg education videos. And that's because it's critical, because your machine needs to tick all 4 of the classifications in order for it to be a Rube Goldberg machine, and not a chain reaction, not a crazy contraption, not a domino topple, and not a marble run. Your Rube Goldberg machine needs to solve an everyday task. Putting the toothpaste on a toothbrush. It needs to be made of everyday objects, toothbrush, but other things such as fans, books, objects laying around, things that you have in your home, or, if you're building a little bit more fancy, a garage, or, just common things. We don't want to see 3D printed elements. We don't want to see full things constructed out of wood. That just goes against the spirit. Of course, it's a chain reaction. One thing triggers the next. So flip on a light switch, which turns on a fan, which blows a boat across some water, which starts knocking down a stream of dominoes. That's a chain reaction. It needs to have one thing trigger the next. But what makes it a Rube Goldberg machine is, again, that funny, humorous element. There's got to be that, you throw away your toothbrush you throw it in a toilet in order to brush your teeth. That's funny. That's ridiculous. In the case of a Rube Goldberg machine, you want to tell a story. And when you're telling a story, having that fun and unique element. Let's go back to the brush, and I'm not putting the whipped cream on my face again, but maybe your narrative is that you have an elephant who has a cavity, and your whole process is, oh, the elephant can't put toothpaste on his own toothbrush, so you've got to do that. And the whole narrative is trying to solve that problem. And that's where you can get away with a giant brush and putting giant toothpaste on it. So, elephant with the cavity. I thought that was a pretty good one. You can also brush your teeth with garlic paste. Trader Joe's has a wonderful garlic paste, just mentioning that. But maybe your whole goal is that you're trying to avoid vampires, and that's your way of avoiding them. These are creative, unique, ridiculous ideas that are going to be far different than the very standard, and I know overplayed, of something falls and crushes the toothbrush. Another idea, if you want to get even more creative, having something in between. So in this case, I have a fan. I have a fan which shorted out the rest of my lights. Good job. Yeah. Well, the fan might not turn on because it's shorting out the whole circuit. So yay. But imagine that the fan, so basically something falls on the tube. Maybe it starts to go just a little bit, and it's creating a stream of toothpaste, which starts blowing in front of the fan. At the same time, something turns on the fan, which then begins to blow. And all of a sudden, you have this stream of toothpaste coming down like this, and will end up on your toothbrush way over here. I mean, the fact I was duct taping this earlier, and it just felt ridiculous. I'm going to unplug the fan because clearly we're having electrical issues. Gonna need to fix that. It was one of those things. It just felt utterly ridiculous to do. So the moral being with this is, again, this is a Rube Goldberg machine contest. This is do something funny, do something creative, do something unique. And if you do that, you already have such a leg up in moving on to the national contest. Again, for those folks that are joining us, if you do have questions, certainly feel free to put them in the comments. Again, I'm happy to answer anything live. Again, mentioning that a lot of people do watch this back, so I wanted to really touch on the solving the task issue. For those of you joining the Rubathon, so the Rubathon will also be the same task of putting the toothpaste on a toothbrush. However, that's just a one-day event where the school or yourselves will be supplying the materials. You build everything in one day and then take it apart. That's something new that was started to be offered last year. In fact, I'm creating the hosting manual right now, which will become live also on January 10th. For those joining us just now, again, we are releasing the Minecraft competition as well as the Crazy Cartoon contest on January 10th. So lots and lots of good Rube Goldberg things coming up. And again, if anybody watching, I know there's a couple of people here, if you have questions, please feel free, answer them in the comments. I'll stick around for a little bit. But again, I just really wanted to give that kind of quick punch out of solving the task for this time. When you're building these machines, when you are building these contraptions, really think of something that's going to make the audience laugh. That's probably one of the biggest hints I can give you is, when you're building it, have somebody else come in. So maybe, have somebody from the public, have a friend or somebody come in and watch your machine. And, just see what their reaction is. If they're happy, if they're laughing, you're very much on the right track. If they're ever doing one of these things where it just looks like they can't see what they're building, that tells me that you've got to start using bigger objects. What I always say is marbles, dominoes, and Hot Wheels cars are the worst objects to use in Rube Goldberg machines. Why? They're really small. So the audience is going to be probably this far away from the machine when it's running. At best, they might be even further away. When you're at that distance, I have a lot of cool stuff on my shelf, but could you pick out a tiny little marble rolling along? Probably not. A Hot Wheels car is a little better, but even little dominoes, they're really, really small. So A, they're hard to see. B, they're really, really small, meaning that they have low potential and kinetic energy. marbles, dominoes, and Hot Wheels cars cannot do a whole heck of a lot. And when we talk about Rube Goldberg machines, again, we really want something that has really big impact. So replace a Hot Wheels car with a Tonka truck. Instead of dominoes, go all the way up to a mattress, books, DVDs, VHS tapes. There's so many good things out there to replace with dominoes. And instead of a marble, golf balls. Golf balls are probably the smallest balls that I would like to see on any Rube Goldberg machine. But, I'm wearing the Pokemon hat because, eventually I was going to get to you. Like, Pokeball. Have a little Pokeball roll along through your machine. Maybe you need to brush your Pokemon's teeth. Maybe your Kangaskhan has a cavity. I don't know. Something of that effect. But yeah, when you're really building these machines, really make it visible, make it funny, avoid those three things, avoid marbles, avoid Hot Wheels cards, and avoid dominoes. And, just really, I really want, in the rules, if a lot of people have noticed this year, I've made it more free. So already in the earlier part of this video, if you were watching, I made a big mess of myself, and it's currently all over my floor. In past years, you weren't allowed to have different things leave the boundaries of the machine. And this year, that's perfectly okay. Of course, with your host location, but at the Nationals, absolutely. I would rather there be those toothpaste cannons. I would rather, I would love to see, let's bring it back to this of, I would love to see somebody have a similar toothpaste cannon where it fires on them, because you are allowed to have somebody in the machine. That's perfectly allowed. If it sprays you in the face, if it does something creative and unique like this, that's amazing. And so what that you have to clean up a little bit. It's all about the fun and the new and those creative elements. We have a comment from Kelly. New and gifted talented teacher. I'm so excited to start this as some of my elementary groups playing catch up with learning about this. About the different options for elementary age is we almost have the end of a question there. Sorry. But for upper elementary age is the best option to enter our videos with the online submission for the regional contest. I would say, it depends. The live contests are amazing. There's such a wonderful collaboration between the teams, that competitive spirit, but also, everybody's just really hoping that their machine works, especially at that age group. So it is a magical thing to see it happen live. That said, if you're not near a live location, you can certainly enter it into the remote regional contest. When you're at that age range, I think it's perfectly okay to submit it in the remote regionals, because it gives them the chance to bring it to nationals. And that's in the Purdue Armory, if you're familiar with it. If not, it's a gigantic facility. It's basically the size of a football field indoors, whereby we're going to have the college, high school, the middle school, and the elementary students all in this location. So the younger kids will be able to see the larger students, the older students' machines there. Because college is allowed to build a 12-foot cube of a machine. High school gets a 10-foot cube of space. Middle school gets 8 feet of space. And elementary students get 6 feet. Now, if you think 6 feet doesn't sound like a lot, well, I have 2 Guinness World Records for building Rube Goldberg machines in a 6-foot cube. And we ended up with 244 and 300 steps, respectively. So you can do a heck of a lot in a 6-foot space. I'm going to pull up the Pop-A-Balloon. But, the short answer is, I would say if you're brand new to it, probably a good option is going to be do the remote regionals. I'm going to still grade it. I'm still going to provide the judging and the feedback. And then from there, I'm going to give you, obviously, the go-ahead, the golden ticket to move on to nationals, or feedback for what you can do for the following years. There are other contests as well. So the Rube Goldberg Machine contest is going to be the absolute best for students, just flat out, hands down. But, for students that want to participate in more items, I was mentioning again, there's the Minecraft competition coming up. There's Crazy Cartoon. We're having a playground contest. That's start announcing it. Yeah, it's not live, but you can start submitting designs for your own playground, which the winner of that contest will get their playground built. That is going to be amazing. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it yet, but shush, either way, I like this won't live on YouTube forever. But Yeah, so it's just Rube Goldberg Machine Contest, RGMC, is a wonderful path to get the students involved in it. And then the opportunity to do other contests exists. So what I want to do is share this. So again, just kind of showing that. Let's get that a little bit more full screen. There we go. So this is in a 6-foot box. So this is exactly what the elementary students get. So this was one of my Guinness World Record machines whereby it took the task from 25 years and solved it all in one machine. So such things as sharpening a pencil, putting a lid on a ball jar, unlocking a combination padlock, screwing in a light bulb. Here we're making a cup of coffee. That pours down, turns on a radio, which puts a coin into a bank. This is a Guinness World Record machine, I will just point out to you. So by no means are we expecting anybody to build anything quite like this. There was putting a golf tee on, putting a CD into a CD player, turning off an alarm clock, teeing up a golf ball, sealing a time capsule that's going to move along and it's going to peel an apple. From there, it raises a U.S. flag, crushes soda cans. From there, it's going to put ballots in a box. And all of this, again, contained in a 6-foot area, and even on the back half. So this is all within a 3-foot area. Changing the batteries out of a flashlight, shredding paper, juicing oranges, using that orange juice to complete a circuit. That circuit then builds a hamburger, which is then going to turn on a light bulb as we move back to the front half of the machine. So this task was replace an incandescent light bulb with more energy-efficient light-emitting design, glow stick, put hand sanitizer on, water a plant before this year's final task. So ours this year is put toothpaste on a toothbrush. This was to take a balloon, blow it up, and pop it. And this is something that you might see at the collegiate level, whereby we built a steam locomotive engine, which pumped a radial bike pump wheel, filling the balloon before something right out of Rube's cartoons came out and popped the balloon after 300 steps. So just an absolutely amazing machine there. Kelly, also I have some large classes, so I can put the kids into smaller groups and into multiple teams. You absolutely can do that. In fact, if you have 3 teams, you can host your own region, become a host location, and thereby, if you have at least 3 teams, you would guarantee that one of your teams would move on to the national contest if you have 3 or such. Teams can range, especially elementary. They can range anywhere from a minimum of 3 students all the way up to 20. For that age group and kind of getting familiar with it, I would say age 5 to 10 is, or excuse me, group size 5 to 10 is ideal for that if you break it up. And the very positive thing, so something I've enacted for this year, if you are in the grades 3 through 8, adults, teachers, as well as parents are allowed to help students build the base. So whether it be a wooden platform, cardboard boxes, foam boxes, what have you, adults are allowed to help the younger students with their base, because one of the critical things is moving it. You know, if you're located in Texas, well, the national contest is in Indiana. We have a team come from Arizona every year. We had Oregon a number of years. Myself, I'm in New Hampshire, and we have quite a huge hub of teams out this way. In fact, I have 315 teams signed up throughout all the 4 divisions in my area, in my New England area alone. So quite a large amount. And, you know, they're going to have to bring their machines along. And you just want it to survive that trip out to nationals. So, but in short, and again, I talk a lot, apologize. You know, team sizes, the minimum can be 3 for the contest, but 5 or 10 certainly works. If you want it to be a whole class project, you certainly can do that as well. So, and if you do go over 20 and you have a whole class, just send me an email. I'm lenient with those sort of things. It doesn't, it doesn't need to be hard and fast on those sort of things. So, great questions, Kelly. Thank you for asking them. Does anyone else here have any questions with it before I wrap up? Because I either like to ask questions or I keep it semi-short because, again, the big majority of people watch this back later. So they're going to watch me talking for 2 hours or 30 minutes. It's kind of a more palatable thing. Kelly, do you have any other questions while you're here? I'm happy to chat away. Yeah, again, I've been a part of the Rube Goldberg Machine Contest since 2006. I was a competitor for 8 years. Been with Rube Inc. since 2013, 2014 in their sphere. I'm the national contest director as of this year. Quite literally rewriting the rule book. So I've been building Rube machines since I was 3 years old. I just, it's a part of who I am. The background is, this is a real background. It's not anything else. This cat, my cat is very real. So, but, all the props, this is what I do for a living. I build Rube Goldberg machines. I teach Rube Goldberg machines to students. I have my TV program. If anybody's interested, Contraption Masters on Discovery. Myself and Richard Hammond, we do a wonderful program about having teams build these contraptions. And yeah, it's an honor and amazing thing to do. And happy to chat with anybody about it. Kelly, you're so welcome. Again, if feel free, send me an email, zach@rubegoldberg.org. Happy to answer anything more. If you have already emailed me, I apologize because I run through a lot of emails. I forget who's emailed me. But with it, thank you everyone so much for watching this. I wish you all the best of luck. Again, zach@rubegoldberg.org if you have any questions. My next live is going to be February something or other. The first Wednesday of February. That's going to be on February 7th. I'm probably going to have to change the time on that because I'm going to be in Seattle on a project. So I might have to move it a little bit further back, maybe 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time zone. But otherwise, it'll still be on the same day for anyone. Excellent. Thank you again so much, Kelly, for being here. Thank you all again, all the best of luck. And I've been Zach with Zach's Contraptions. Have a good night.